Did you know there were two men, both with Wirral connections, who tried and failed to reach the summit of the world's highest mountain? Now, this year marks the centenary of their attempt to climb Everest, and it's been celebrated in a new exhibition as part of Wirral Borough of Culture. To tell me more, I'm joined by historian and great niece of Irvine, Julie Summers. Hi, Julie. Thanks for being with us. Hiya.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And also in the studio with me is Marie Devehat, who's the World Heritage Project Officer at Wirral Council. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Julie, I'm going to start with you, if I may. Just tell us about your great uncle Sandy, and of course his colleague George Mallory. It's an incredible story, this, isn't it?
It is. So Sandy Irvine was only 22 when he died on Mount Everest. Mallory was 37, and Mallory was very definitely one of the most famous mountaineers in the world, whereas Sandy was relatively inexperienced. So Sandy grew up in Birkenhead in 56 Park Road South. That was his home for all his life. He was a bright young man. He was very clever. He was extremely good at settling things. So all the time that he was at school, he was making things, devices.
Why do we not know more about this man? Because in this part of the world, we're always banging on about fantastic firsts and how, what a wonderful history that we have in this part of the world, and we do. But do you feel as though more people should know about Sandy?
I mean, I have to say, Birkenhead is incredibly good about commemorating Sandy and Mallory, because not only are there now new blue plaques on Mallory's house in Slakey Road and Sandy's house at Birkenhead, Park Road South, but you've also got the two Mallory and Irvine roads leading up to Tranmere Rovers football ground, and I believe there are two new buildings which bear the names of the two great men. I think it's the fact they didn't succeed and they were superseded by Hillary, who did in 1953. That's possibly why they're not as well known as one might have imagined they would be.
Marie, tell us a little bit more about how the centenary of the exhibition is going to be marked here. How are you going to do this?
Yeah, so this year is Wirral Borough of Culture, and obviously the council wanted to celebrate people's story, the past, but also the future of the borough. Obviously, Sandy's story is one of them. As you said, is really significant, and he was born on one of the house just on the outskirts of Birkenhead Park, which is on a journey to be recognized, hopefully, as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It has been shortlisted by the UK government last year in the spring. So for us, really celebrating also not just the history of the park itself, but also the history of people who made the park in 177 years of existence now. It's so important, really, and we really hope that people living in the area and from further afield come and visit the exhibition. At the end of the exhibition, there is this very touching story about really Irvine with the father of Sandy, who was walking through the park on the day after the announcement of the death of his son.
And Julie, when obviously you've known of this story for a long time, but when you work with Marie and you know it's for an exhibition about the expedition, if you like, does it make those memories kind of come alive? Does it make you think a little bit more about it?
Oh yes, I mean it's really sometimes it's quite emotional, and I was surprised because I knew the story from when I was a 7-year-old. I've been working on it for the last nearly 30 years, but even so, this centenary has been such a pleasure to revisit the stories, to talk to people like Marie who didn't know the story, and to bring it to life for her and other people who are visiting. It's very touching. There was a sense that they were pioneers. Everest had only been mapped 3 years earlier, and of course they were walking off the map and in the shadow of the First World War. All of them, apart from Sandy Irvine, had served, and so there was a great sense of we have to live. We can't just look back to the past. We have to live. We have to do things that matter.
You must be very, very proud, and rightly so. The visitor centre in the park's incredible as well, isn't it?
It's open every day of the week, so from 9 to 4:30, so come anytime.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Julie, I meant to ask, do you climb? Have you ever climbed? Is it something that's in the DNA in the family, or what, just to finish with?
No, the joke in the family is I can't even climb a ladder. I've got terrible vertigo.
After that wonderful conversation about Sandy saying he got vertigo and he can't climb a ladder, I think it's a great way to end this, I think, don't you?